We've all been hurt by someone. Maybe a former friend, a family member, or even a stranger who left a deep scar. The instinct is to hold on, to let anger shield us from further pain. But what if the very thing we cling to for protection is what's actually keeping us trapped? Forgiveness, especially when it comes to an enemy, feels almost impossible. It challenges every part of us that wants justice. And yet, history, philosophy, and psychology all point to the same surprising truth. Forgiveness isn't a sign of weakness. It's a profound act of strength. In a world full of conflict, learning to forgive may be the most radical and empowering choice we ever make. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that the prisoner was you. Louis B. Smedes. Today, we are talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the most profound acts of courage a human being can commit. It's not weakness, forgetfulness, or giving permission to be hurt again. It's liberation. And when it comes to forgiving an enemy, the stakes are even higher. You're not just releasing them from blame, you're freeing yourself from the burden of bitterness. Why is forgiveness so hard? When someone wrongs us, especially people dear to us, our instincts scream for justice, sometimes even revenge. This desire is rooted in fairness. We want balance restored. But here's the paradox. By holding on to anger, we continue to suffer. The enemy may have moved on, but we're still shackled to the past. Forgiving someone who has hurt us isn't about pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about refusing to let that pain define us. The moral power of forgiveness. Philosophers and religious leaders across centuries have debated whether forgiveness is an obligation or a choice. What's agreed upon is this: forgiveness transforms both the giver and the receiver. In Christianity, forgiveness is a divine act, something that elevates humanity closer to grace. In Buddhism, holding on to anger is seen as grasping a burning coal with the intention of throwing it. Only you get burned. In modern psychology, forgiveness is considered a vital part of emotional healing, reducing anxiety, depression, and even physical illness. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning evil. It means choosing to no longer be a victim of it. But what if they don't deserve it? That's the tricky part. Often they don't. But forgiveness isn't earned, it's given. It's not about the other person. It's about your integrity, your peace, your mental health, your growth and evolution. Think of the great peacemakers of history. Nelson Mandela, who forgave the people who imprisoned him for 27 years and became the president and served everyone equally, or Malala Yousafzai, who forgave the men who tried to silence her with violence. They chose forgiveness not because it was easy, but because it was necessary, for healing, for progress, for freedom. How to begin forgiving an enemy. 1. Acknowledge the pain, don't suppress it. Understand what hurt you and why. 2. See the humanity, the enemy is flawed just like you. This doesn't excuse the harm, but it reminds you they're human. 3. Set boundaries. Forgiveness doesn't mean re-entering toxic relationships. You can forgive and still keep distance. 4. Let go for yourself, choose peace. Not for them, but for you. 5. Practice compassion. The more you practice forgiveness, the more natural it becomes. Forgiveness is strength. It takes far more strength to forgive than to hate. Anyone can hold a grudge, but to rise above it, to choose compassion when vengeance seems justifiable, that is real power. You don't need to wait for an apology. You don't need to forget what happened. But if you want to reclaim your power, your joy, your future, forgiveness might be the greatest act of rebellion you can perform. Remember, forgive not because they deserve it, but because you do. Because peace is your right. And because in the end, it's not about who hurt you, it's about who you become in the face of it. At the heart of forgiveness lies freedom, not for the person who hurt you, but for yourself. It's not about forgetting. It's not about excusing. It's about reclaiming your peace and choosing who you want to become. You are not your pain. You are not what they did. You are the author of your story, and forgiveness can be the turning point that transforms it. So ask yourself, not do they deserve forgiveness, but rather, do I deserve peace? Because the answer to that is always yes.